भी बैठना पड़ता है. अगर हम खुद ना बैठे तो बच्चे तो उठ के भाग जाते हैं.
That seed is the child, right? So if you don't take care of it, it's not going to grow. Flowers are not going to come out. They can relate. जो आप कर रहे हो आपका बच्चा वही करेगा.
मी ऑल्सो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है उनको रोज़ का होमवर्क कराना, उनको चेक करना कितना किया है.
However, how much tired you are, you have to give that 15 minutes just to check your child's notebook maybe.
They are still young. To make them understand the importance of sitting and doing still becomes really difficult.
Okay, go run into your house and get something which starts with the S. If you are learning something out of that screen time, why is that screen time bad? When I talk about group classes, I believe group classes are way better than individual one-on-one classes. We cannot cater those 5 kids at once. NCF 23 made it mandatory that these years would be the foundation years, and it is important for a child to have those studied before they reach grade 1.
Isn't it putting too much pressure on kids?
I guess no. Let him spend those 3 hours in play school. उस घड़े में अगर कुछ अच्छा भरेगा तो वो वहीं नीचे रहेगा सेटल. इट वोंट एवर गो आउट.
बच्चों को मोटेसरी स्कूल में डालें. इट्स वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. And even the toys are very expensive.
And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, क्या चीज़ है ये, इतनी अच्छी है.
Do our kids actually need online after school education? What do you think? I think they definitely don't need that. School education is more than enough. But today, I have Akansha with me, who is an educator, and she will tell you the importance of after school online education. And also, she runs a platform called the Reader's Nest, and they do some amazing after school programs for nursery kids. Okay, nursery KG first tak, like 6 below. So let's listen from her. And if you like the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hi Akansha, how are you?
Hi Garima, I'm good. How are you?
Great. So you're an educator. I really want to ask you, what role does parent play in child's education system?
Okay. To answer that, first of all, I'll give an example.
Okay.
I'm sure you have planted trees or just say seed, right? So when you're going to put that in the soil, in the ground, it's you who takes care of it, right? Being a parent, that seed is the child, right? So if you don't take care of it, it's not going to grow. Flowers are not going to come out. You won't get the fruit. So same goes with the parents also. Being a parent, you are their first educator. I'm very sure mothers, and not even mothers, fathers and everybody in the family, they can relate. जो आप कर रहे हो आपका बच्चा वही करेगा. So that's how, being a mother, you are the first educator of your child.
And what about for a working parent? It becomes really difficult to, I think, on daily basis. For me also, बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है उनको रोज़ का होमवर्क कराना, उनको चेक करना कितना किया है. And what's your take on for working parents?
There's something called balancing, right? So we have our own priorities. Work is a priority, but at the same time, child is also our priority. And we, being adults, we already have learned how to balance. So yes, however, how much tired you are, you have to give that 15 minutes just to check your child's notebook maybe, or just to set his bag for tomorrow. That's what parenting is, balancing things. And it's not only between kids and work, it's between your housework, your own social life, everything. So I think that's balancing.
Yeah, right. But what I feel for me is it's always like हम घर पहुंचते हैं, we are very tired. थोड़ी देर बाद हम अपने सेंसेस में आते हैं एंड देन हम उनको बोलते हैं आओ पढ़ें. पढ़ना कौन सा है, किसने पढ़ना है? They want to play, they want to enjoy, because now we are here after the whole day we were not with them. And I think वो उनको, they are still young. To make them understand the importance of sitting and doing still becomes really difficult.
कौन कह रहा है स्ट्रिक्टली बैठ के पढ़ाने के लिए? मेक इट इंटरैक्टिव फॉर देम.
Interactive.
Go for online sessions. Very interactive, very engaging, very learning, and you actually don't need to sit with them throughout. You can just be in the room doing your stuff and let them take the classes.
But do you think online classes may you, as you also run an online platform, so online classes may do kids really sit and study? Because I think for younger kids, और हमें मुझे मेरे साथ तो ऐसे ही हुआ है कि मुझे खुद भी बैठना पड़ता है. अगर हम खुद ना बैठे तो बच्चे तो उठ के भाग जाते हैं.
This is a question from the most of the parents that we get. What we do is we give our parents a demo class before they enroll with us, right? So in the demo itself, the parent can see that yes, their child is sitting. Now, why they are sitting? I'll tell you something. अगर आप अपने बच्चे को बोलोगे कि ठीक है एक ही जगह पे बैठो and just play with these toys. You give them 2 to 3 toys and that's enough. I don't think वो enjoy करेंगे. They'll go and they would want to have those toys maybe kept in that corner, right?
Right.
So it's their attention span which is very short when we talk about a child.
Agree.
So in our classes, I would answer that now, that how would you make the child sit in an online session? We don't believe in lecturing system. We have activities in our classes. My teacher personally, if I give you an example, if I am teaching, suppose we are into phonics, so if I talk about letter S, right, it has been 15 minutes, child is sitting. Now it's time and my teacher is going to say that okay, go run into your house and get something which starts with the S sound. So I think that's something ice breaking, I would say. बच्चा बैठा भी नहीं है बहुत देर तक and he would have time to maybe run, and when he is running around he is actually having fun कि wow मुझे मैम को लेके जाना है और मुझे कुछ दिखाना है मैम को.
Competitive देखते हैं कौन सबसे पहले
Exactly.
जाएगा. That's
So
where it also comes.
class is
Yeah.
not only about just teaching. हम नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं बच्चे को half an hour में या 45 minutes में and 1 hour class. We are not teaching the child through lectures. We are actually involving a lot of activities.
But then also, like if taken as for my example, I would rather go for an offline class. Don't you think that offline modes, a lot of parents want to opt for offline modes rather than online?
Here I would like to question you back. Do you even know offline what are they being taught? Do you see it from your own eyes?
Yeah, we can't see. Yes.
So I think that answers most of your questions. Online is better. I'll give you 2-3 reasons.
But
for
then
that.
their screen time also increases too
I'll
much.
answer that also.
Yeah.
So basically, if it is an online session, being a parent, I know what the teacher is teaching my child, what they did in today's class, right? Online, if I talk about my platform, I'll not talk about others. We are providing the recorded sessions as well to our parent. Whatever we did in the class, recordings, we are giving it to the parent even if they're not present there. So first point being, the parents, they know what their child did in the class. Second, in India, or maybe let's just take worldwide, everybody is not very accessible to these offline sessions. If I talk about phonics, we don't have phonics everywhere. Where I belong, we don't have any phonics center, offline centers over there. And being a parent, I never heard about phonics. I think it was 8 to 9 years back when I first heard about phonics.
Right.
So, being in a remote area, you can access quality education through online sessions, right? And then again, I would say interactive sessions hai, engaging sessions hai, right? These are the main 2-3 points. And my first and major concern when a parent asks me that offline क्यों ना ले हम online क्यों ले, I was like कि आपको नहीं पता offline में आपका बच्चा क्या पढ़ रहा है. Online में you have an eye on your kids, that what your child is actually doing, you can yourself track the progress of your child, I believe. Right? Now coming to screen time, that's again a question which a lot of parents come up with. You know, a coin has two sides, right? So if I talk about screen time, it has two concepts. One is passive screen time and the other one is progressive screen time, right?
Right.
So passive is when the child is continuously looking into that phone, playing video games,
Right.
and out of that he's not learning anything, right? It's just something which is degrading maybe the eyesight, the brain, and everything. But when I talk about online classes, if you are learning something out of that screen time, why is that screen time bad? So that's the difference between a good screen time and a bad screen time, I would say.
And if an online class has five students, and every student have a different temperament, and when the teacher is present, like one to one, I think it becomes really easy. But when the uh, teacher is also not present, or वो visually चल रहा है, then it become really very difficult for kids also, in five students, to communicate with the teacher, and teacher also to communicate with one student.
In today's time, there's one thing which I believe you also have experienced is competition. It's growing like a fire in woods, right? So, and it's not only within us adults. It's among kids also. So, when I talk about group classes, I believe group classes are way better than individual one-on-one classes. बिकॉज किड्स ना उनको थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है कि ओके उस बच्चे ने जवाब दिया है, दिस टाइम आई एम गोना गिव द आंसर, मैम मेरे को पता है, मेरे से पूछो, प्लीज़ आस्क मी, व्हाई डिड दैट आंसर चाइल्ड बिफोर मी. दैट कॉम्पिटिशन इट स्टार्ट्स द मोमेंट द चाइल्ड इज बॉर्न. सो आई थिंक ग्रुप क्लासेस आर वे बेटर. एक्सपोजर मिलता है ग्रुप क्लासेस में. व्हेन इट कम्स टू अ टीचर, a teacher is not a good teacher if she cannot cater those five kids at once, right?
Okay.
If you talk about school classes, we have 30 kids in the class and she's catering just because she's a very good teacher, right? So आई वुड से कि अगर मैं 5 के ग्रुप में आपके बच्चे पे ध्यान नहीं दे पा रही हूँ, फॉल्ट इज इन मी एंड नॉट द क्लासेस. आई एम नॉट अ गुड एजुकेटर, आई वुड से दैट. So
But I feel the learning style of every child is different. Okay? How can parents be sure that my child will be able to learn in online or offline? And how the different style of a child will be catered by
by
by teacher.
by customizing their needs, we customize the course as well for parents. You won't believe we have even 12-year-old kids who are actually doing courses which cater to a 3-year-old child.
Oh,
So that's how we customize.
but then that must be one on one.
Yes, then it goes to one on one. Now, talking about it again, during those group sessions, na, we have those regular feedbacks from our teachers. Every month, every 12th class, they give us a feedback on every child, how they are doing. So, if a child is not doing really well in a group class, we from our own end we talk to the parent and tell them that let us go for individual class, and then maybe when he has reached that line, we can put him back in the group, because we don't want a child to turn into an introvert.
Yeah.
We want extrovert kids.
But do you actually think that we need after school courses like these? Why not what kids are learning in school is enough?
Schools are very rigid, they are curriculum based, they will not teach you, they will not actually train you for a society, for a world which actually we are into. I believe that they are exam oriented and they only focus कि बच्चे के एग्जाम्स में मार्क्स अच्छे आने चाहिए, right? Many schools I've seen, they do not even offer public speaking as a part of it, and from a class of 30 kids, I guess only there are 2 to 3 kids who can actually go up onto the stage and talk to crowd
Agree.
confidently,
Yeah.
right?
Agree.
What about those other 28 or 25 kids sitting there? So I think after school program is really
My daughter, she knows everything. मतलब उसको सब आता है, वो मुझे सुना देगी. But when it comes to going and speaking in front of 30 kids, और क्लास में बोलना है तो वो एकदम ही चुप हो जाएगी, वो बिल्कुल ही इंट्रोवर्ट हो जाएगी कि नहीं मुझे तो सुनाना ही नहीं है। आई सेड आपको तो आता था, फिर क्यों नहीं सुनाया? शी वॉज नॉट एबल टू डू दैट.
Because she's shy.
Then how your you said public speaking course, how that helps in making kids more extrovert, or you said more communicable, ज़्यादा बात कर पाए?
Right. So basically, we have only 32 classes in our public speaking course, and
Okay.
within that 32 classes, we train kids
Okay.
to speak smartly, to speak confidently in front of the crowd. Now, how are we going to do that? Every class, the teacher is going to pick up a new, different topic, right? And she's going to tell the child, let's talk. Public speaking class is not writing anything or maybe
Right.
showing a PPT.
Yeah.
No. In our public speaking sessions, I would want you to please take up those public speaking sessions from
I'm
us.
planning to
And
definitely.
you would really see that the teacher, she's just talking to the child and she'll ask her what she did and every detail she needs.
But then that would also be a group class.
Yes, initially, what we do is we first tell the child to break that barriers of shyness, and then we will put the child later into group sessions. Even if we don't put it into group sessions, I'm sure every month or maybe every week we have speak on activities in school. My daughter
Right.
also has
Yeah,
it.
same,
So for that also the teachers, the parents, they come up to the teachers and they tell that ma'am हमारा ये है fancy dress speak on activity है, आप please मेरे बच्चे को prepare करा दो. The teacher, they prepare, and I have seen wonders. Kids not speaking when it was their first session, and the last session they were literally moving and juggling around and talking in front of the crowd. So it makes a difference. I think everything has something to do with. So it makes a difference.
So you said you run grammar classes also and phonics also. Why school is still rigid in including those sessions in their class?
Okay, so let's first talk about English grammar. I've already mentioned that schools, they are very rigid about their curriculum and they focus on finishing that syllabus. First term का syllabus है, खत्म करना है first term exam से पहले. Final term है, खत्म करना है. उसमें क्या होता है, बच्चा इंग्लिश ग्रामर में, एंड इंग्लिश ग्रामर इज वेरी वास्ट. बीइंग एन एडल्ट, till now I make mistakes in English grammar. I'm sure
Agree.
everybody
Agree,
here
everyone.
makes a mistake, right? So teachers also, I believe, they cross check in books whether some answers they are correct or not. So because English grammar is very vast, so when I talk about English grammar, parents, they come up to us and it's just for the practice. Schools, they've already introduced English grammar, but the speed at which schools are going, every kid has a different potential.
Right.
कोई बच्चा एक ही उसमें ग्रैब कर लेता है और कोई बच्चा होगा उसको 4 टेक्स्ट चाहिए होंगे, वो तब भी ग्रैब नहीं कर पाएगा. तो पोटेंशियल स्पीड हर बच्चे की अलग होती है. तो फॉर दैट इंग्लिश ग्रामर, पेरेंट्स, दे ऑप्ट फॉर कोर्सेज. Now when I talk about phonics, schools still, they haven't adopted phonics right now.
Agree.
And if any school is telling you they're doing phonics, please, I would say, I would openly challenge you, go and ask them the sounds of letters and they're gonna answer it all wrong. And phonics is not only about the 26 letter sounds, it's way more than that. We have around 80 plus English reading and writing rules. So we cannot say that school is actually running with phonics.
They actually base more on that at family, app family things, right?
Exactly. Because I told you, na, it's very vast. Schools, they cannot adopt phonics. One being, it needs a huge teacher training. It's like an army. So they cannot teach so many, they cannot train so many teachers. Then it has been so long. हमारे roots को हमें ही छोड़ने में इतना दिक्कत होता है, तो how can schools, they leave it? Traditional system, traditional ways has been running since maybe I don't know how many our great grandfathers are there.
I agree.
So why would they change something? Teacher training is the main thing, I guess.
And I think how to, I think the most important for me, the question is how to motivate kids to study, to learn. You said do it in a fun way, I agree. But मेरे साथ तो बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज कि वो पढ़ रही माई डॉटर इज स्टडिंग एंड वो छोटू आता है एंड वो कुछ कुछ उसकी बुक में लिख के चला जाएगा कुछ कर देगा कोई टॉय लेकर आ जाएगा एंड शी गेट्स डिस्ट्रैक्टेड बिकॉज द अटेंशन स्पैन ऑब्वियसली ऑफ देम
It's
इट्स
very
वेरी लेस
less. I
वेरी
know.
लेस शी गेट एक्स्ट्रा डिस्ट्रैक्टेड एंड उसके बाद उसको दोबारा से 5 मिनट बिठाना बिकम्स अ टास्क.
I know. See, in this case, what you can do is, I give this example a lot. If I'm talking about English, I talk about maths, any subject I take, we have toys in our houses if we have kids. And let me just take the most common toys, which are blocks,
Blocks, right?
right? Um, Once I was doing an activity for a child, and on the block I wrote one of the blocks I wrote C, other one A, and then T. And my daughter was like, "Why are you doing this to my toys?" I like, "I'll clean it, please don't worry. But you're going to enjoy it the way I'm doing it with you." And I then just told her, "I'm gonna say words, and you have to just pull out those sounds and put it together." So I think that's one way. We have magnet tiles in our houses. Why don't you do all of these things? Story, I would say these are just for words, right?
Yeah.
Blending sounds into words. Now you could have come up with a question, and what if I want my girl to read the storybooks?
Yes.
Maybe just tell your little one to sit there and listen what your sister is telling you. She would be more interested in reading that story, and he's interested in listening. Oh, what is she saying? Right? And scribbling is, I think, not a problem. We have
And I
walls and
think,
everything is
yes,
scribbled by kids.
I
So
think the
that's something we
sibling,
cannot ignore and avoid.
absolutely. And what do you think how education system, when it comes to primary education, as we are talking about, how it has evolved during the time? Earlier, Montessori was not a thing, and now I really want to understand about Montessori from you.
Montessori, even today, everybody is not aware of it.
Yeah.
Phonics also, everybody is not aware of it. When queries come up from parents, and you wouldn't believe parent calling and telling us, अच्छा आप कौन सा कोर्स कराते हो? Phonics. Phonics क्या होता है? Mothers, they don't even know what phonics is.
I agree.
So awareness is not there. Montessori, nobody knows. Montessori is actually it's हैंड ऑन प्रैक्टिस. मोंटेसरी हमें क्या बताता है कि जो आपको पढ़ना है वो आप बच्चे को हैंड से प्रैक्टिस कराओ. आपको बच्चे को टेक्सचर सिखाना है, सॉफ्ट रफ का, तो आप वो बच्चे को टच करके सिखाओ. और हमारे ट्रेडिशनल वे में क्या है, स्कूल्स में क्या है, बुक्स में बता देंगे, पिक्चर्स बना देंगे. ये
Cotton is soft. Cotton is soft
Exactly.
and rock is rough and hard.
Yes. So Montessori is कि उसको फील करके बच्चा सीखेगा. आई थिंक जो वो टच करे, फील करे, उसको ज़्यादा याद रहेगा. That is hands on practice, and that is what Montessori is. Right. Now coming to one more thing I would talk about is, I'm sure you might have heard about NCF, National Curriculum Framework.
No.
2023 they framed it again. एंड दे एक्चुअली पहले क्या होता था, ग्रेड 1 से जो नीचे वाले क्लासेस हैं, प्री प्राइमरी जो जिसको हम बोलते हैं प्री नर्सरी, नर्सरी केजी, अपर केजी, लोअर केजी, उसको इम्पोर्टेंस ही नहीं दिया जाता था. एंड पेरेंट्स दे ऑल्सो यूज्ड टू से कि
अभी तो बच्चे
ग्रेड 1 से करा देंगे, नर्सरी
totally
रीडिंग नहीं आती, कोई बात नहीं, स्कूल में सिखा देंगे, ग्रेड 1 से हो जाएगा, सब हो जाएगा. NCF 23 made it mandatory that these years would be the foundation years, and it is important for a child to have those studied before they reach grade 1. So this is how our education system is also refining themselves. They are also working from there, and I wouldn't say that they're not doing anything.
Isn't it putting too much pressure on kids?
I guess no. Because आप एक बात बताओ मुझे, आपका बच्चा घर पे भी क्या ही करता है सारा दिन?
मतलब they it's just a free play for them, and that's what they say कि free play is very important.
If you put your child into a play school, and I think there also they're not giving them books or pencils. It's also a free play.
Yeah, free
and
play.
there
It's just
also,
little structured.
if you look into the syllabus of pre-nursery, it's nothing. And I do believe that when my daughter was in preschool, I used to feel that क्या लेके जाते हैं बैग में, it's just a tiffin box. Nothing. They're not carrying anything. They're going, maybe one day they're learning about colors, the other day they are having maybe some celebration in school for maybe a fruit day, or what all days do we celebrate in pre-nursery. So I think it's not a pressure. I would also again give an example. Over here there's a pot right? So it's up to you what you're filling into that. एक घड़ा है मिट्टी का, आपकी मर्जी है आप उसमें क्या भर रहे हो. If you put that child into maybe you just say that that child is sitting back home and maybe sitting and watching those serials with dadi, or maybe just having scrolling phone, or maybe just listening to maids and nannies what they're talking. Instead, let him spend those 3 hours in play school. उस घड़े में अगर कुछ अच्छा भरेगा तो वो वहीं नीचे रहेगा सेटल. इट वोंट एवर गो आउट. बच्चे का दिमाग वो घड़े की तरह ही होता है. Whatever you're filling into it ना, it
Makes
remains
sense,
there.
yeah. And why Montessori education, या अगर हम उन्हें बच्चों को Montessori स्कूल में डालें, it's very expensive. And even the toys are very expensive.
Yes, because that is something, it's expensive. I believe it's not Indian concept. And I'm not very sure whether it's a UK or a US concept, so I would hands up on that thing. But if something we are getting from outside, from a foreign world, it's obviously expensive. I am myself Montessori trained from London, Montessori London.
Okay.
So yes, I know. And if you look at those stuff now, it's actually very nice. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, क्या चीज़ है ये, इतनी अच्छी है. And for every concept, they have something. So
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I
For every
believe if
concept they
you've
have.
put a labor into something, if you've put your brains into something, that's going to be expensive. And the course, I would say it's expensive because they are teaching you something which is not easily available over here. Montessori कहीं भी नहीं होता है, schools में भी होता है. तो Montessori, you know, they have shelves. उनका shelf होता है room में, and it's like all 3 walls they have shelf, and सब में Montessori material होता है. तो if I talk about a school ना, schools में भी शायद सारे shelves नहीं होते हैं. We just have a few of them, right?
Okay.
So Montessori works overall, as I say, texture ले लो या फिर buttoning ले लो, जहाँ पे वो gross motor skills पे work कर रहे हैं, your fingers and everything. So I think that's the reason why Montessori is expensive. वो overall आपके
Overall
body,
development,
brains,
yes.
हर जगह work कर रहा है. So overall skills are developed.
And I
in
think it's
Montessori.
hands-on only. We can't do
Everything
it
is
online.
hands-on. We have maths also in Montessori. We have English also in Montessori. Everything is hands-on. So as I said, there are lots of shelves which school doesn't have.
Oh, yes. And what if mom studies all the phonic things and want to teach their child?
Please grab that opportunity. Lots of mamas, they are going to tell us that मैम क्या पढ़ाती हैं क्लास में, समझ ही नहीं आता है. So we have that course for adults also, and yes, we train moms, we train who have just graduated and want to start their career in education. We have that full-fledged courses for adults. I personally have trained school principals also.
Oh, nice.
So yes,
How do you collaborate with parents and guardians and make sure ये child का अच्छे से पढ़ रहा है and how they are studying? And secondly, how important is after school programs in our education landscape, Indian education landscape?
So basically, if I talk about parents, they are being guided about their kids' progress every then and there. Teachers are available after the class. Teachers, they take that initiative to talk to the parent. If the child is lagging somewhere, she's going to tell the parent. If not then and there, she doesn't have a time, she's going to drop a message to us that this child needs a little attention. So that's how teachers are working on children. And after program, see, I'm going to tell you something. I'm recently doing a lot of research on Japan.
Okay.
So I came to know that because you know on this Instagram, when you just search for one thing, a lot of things come up from there. So they only wanted to show me. In Japan, I've heard that till 6 years they don't start writing.
Huh,
So I don't know how true it is, but I
yes,
saw a
because
reel.
that's what they say. Your hand muscles and they are not properly
Developed.
Yeah.
Yes. So I believe if they are doing something, it is worth it. Here in India, we start doing it from the very beginning. बच्चे को हाथ में maybe कोई toy दे दिया है, and why are we giving out those toys and everything, right? So there's a difference. After program हर country का बहुत ही different है. In India, if we talk about हम as a parent हम चाहते हैं कि हमारा बच्चा बोले, बस बोले
बस आई
बाहर
थिंक
जाके, वो
हमारे
शाय
इंडियन
ना बने.
बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हम लोग
इंडिया में वी आर वेरी पर्टिकुलर
पर्टिकुलर या
बीइंग पेरेंट, एंड हम भी हमारा होता है, जबकि आई थिंक वी शुड स्टॉप डूइंग दैट.
रैट
बीइंग अ
रेस भी बहुत हो
पेरेंट
जाती है
बहुत
ना
ज़्यादा कंपटीशन है.
कि अब मतलब वो कर रहा है तो मुझे भी कराना है अपने बच्चे को. मेरा बच्चा बोल नहीं पा रहा है, मेरा बच्चा रीड नहीं कर रहा है, 4 years का हो गया है, अभी उसकी राइटिंग नहीं आई है, उसके राइटिंग बहुत क्लियर नहीं है, उस बच्चे की बहुत क्लियर है. आई थिंक ये सारा जंबल अप वो कभी इंडियन मॉम्स की माइंडसेट से जाएगा नहीं.
Exactly, and that's what foreigners they are not doing. They are leaving their kids free. जो करना है करो. एंड आई बिलीव लिमिटेशंस में भी फिर बच्चा रहता है. जितना हम प्रेशराइज करेंगे उतना बच्चा होता है कि बस भाग जाओ यहाँ से, इतना प्रेशर डाला हुआ है मेरे ऊपर, है ना. तो आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज गिविंग एग्जांपल फॉर दिस थिंग, कि वहाँ पे तो स्टार्ट ही नहीं करते हैं इतना लेट तक, कोई प्रेशर ही नहीं है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर किड्स आर आल्सो एक्सेलिंग, आवर किड्स आर आल्सो एक्सेलिंग.
Yeah, I think it's different culture, different mindset, traditions. Yeah, they obviously they are more into उन्हीं का ही ये कॉन्सेप्ट भी है, राइट ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट, स्टार्ट हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटी मोटेसरी फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग. आई थिंक दैट हैज़ कम फ्रॉम देयर ऑल्सो.
एंड उन्हीं का ही उनके ही में भी कोई साइड कंट्री का ही कॉन्सेप्ट है कि लिखना शुरू नहीं कराना 6 years तक. वेयर यू सी दीज आर सो अपार्ट. Montessori focuses on hand grips and everything, whereas in Japan and everywhere they're not even trying to work on the kids' fingers. Pinsa grip, nothing is there.
Yes, absolutely. What's role of extracurricular activities play in the learning of a child? Are they also important when the kids are small? Do we join extracurricular activities to the kids also?
Being a parent, you want to join those
No, I
activities
want my child to
do
join.
it.
Yeah,
I
and
believe yes. You know, there is something in my mind कि आप कितने ही अच्छे मार्क्स लेके आ जाओ, मे बी यू जस्ट टॉप दोज क्लास 12 बोर्ड्स, 99.9 भी आ जाएं, if behind your mind you have something that I want to be this in my life, that education, those marks are not going to help you, right? So now if I talk about, let's just talk about leaders, scoring 99.9 leaders as in politicians. Scoring that marks won't help them अगर उनको बोलना ही नहीं आता होगा, right? So I believe extra curricular कोई भी activity ले लो, it's not only about speaking. We are not just confined to limited scope in our careers. We have so many careers जो शायद extra curricular activities से ही चल रहा है, right? If I talk about that shooting, archery,
yeah.
it's extracurricular. We are getting so many medals and everything.
And I think abhi that mainstream careers has taken a backseat. Otherwise, also the mainstream 3-4 careers which earlier used to be so boom, like doctor, lawyers, and engineers. Now they have taken a big backseat, and now all the modern day
Is coming back.
is coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want my daughter to watch this, but I know she's gonna watch it someday. I don't pressure her to study at all. And I am like a mother who rarely checks her notebooks. So maybe in like 20 days or 30 days, I'm gonna open her notebooks and see, oh, this is what my daughter is doing. I never pressurize her because I don't want to do it. I just want her to be free, and I want her to bloom into something which she wants to do it. Though at the back of my mind, I want her to be a doctor. But
But once you
मेरे
will tell
उससे
her,
नहीं
she will
होगा
be
ना.
pressurized.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
मेरे उससे
agree to
नहीं
that.
होगा ना. I'll give you an example. When I just passed my class 12, my father told me कि B.Ed कर ले, अच्छा रहेगा. And what was my answer? आपको लगता है मैं टीचर बनूंगी? मतलब seriously पापा, that was my answer. And look at me. I feel so proud today being a teacher I am myself an educator. I am into teaching since 10 years now, and training adults, telling others to teach, having a team of teachers for myself now. I feel proud. You know that one message from the parent that मैम आपकी क्लासेस बहुत अच्छे हैं, आरोही वन ऑफ द चाइल्ड पहले क्लास में अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं लाती थी और अब वो बहुत अच्छी इंग्लिश बोलती है. My heart is like so full and I'm like so happy that wow, I am doing all of this. Every PPT, whatever curriculum is made by myself. I don't have a team for making PPTs. I don't have curriculum designers.
So
I've
how
done it
you
all by
stay
myself.
updated with the new trends and new curriculums and everything?
I watch a lot of videos. I we just spoke about screen time, no?
Yeah.
So I do a lot of screen time. If you see me on phone, never assume that I'm using Instagram or I'm just scrolling those reels. I'm actually learning a lot of things. I scroll through my page also a lot, the Reader Nest Instagram page. I scroll through that a lot in my free time, and I actually save those reels which are very good. So that's how I keep updated. I keep making changes in my PPTs also. One day you will see something, the other day, and my teachers are also like every day we see something new in our PPTs. So I'm like, this is what we have to do. This is our job. We can't just be monotonous and keep doing the same thing every day. So they are also like, ठीक है. Now, so they are okay with it. That okay, ma'am will make some changes overnight, and next morning we are going to see something new.
And how you came up with the idea of the Reader's Nest?
So basically, I was working in a school. It's a very good school, and I had that 6 to 2 p.m. job over there, with a salary bare 25,000. And being a single mother, I had a lot of responsibilities on my shoulder. I have a 6-year-old daughter, looking upon her, her school, and of course, she's very demanding. So I had to cater all of them. And overnight, I just called one of my brother and I was like, I want to start something for myself. I've worked a lot online. Can I start this myself? And he was the one who told me, yes, you can do it. It's very easy and all. And I was like, okay, if it's easy, let me start. But when I started, I realized it's not easy, and it takes a team to build something. So
Right.
that's how I started. And then, of course, my daughter was my only motivation for starting this. I want to give her something which I made, and maybe she can just continue.
Oh,
So,
ये कुछ ज़्यादा की सोचोगे?
no, you know, I have such, and now I'll give one more example. When I started this venture, the
It's been
Reader
2
Nest,
years?
yes, we'll complete 2 years in June.
Okay.
So when I started this, I was speaking again to one of my friends, and it was the first month when I started. I was the only teacher, I was the only admission counselor, I was working as my sales, I was my own curriculum designer, everything was only me. And I told that person that when I'll have 25 kids enrolled, I'll hire a teacher. And then we were talking and talking, and then it was like ठीक है, you do at least 500 kids na, that would be a big thing. And I was like, 500 only? I'll have at least 5,000 kids one day. So recently I told that person also ki, see, we have crossed 1,000 now.
Wow.
Who have actually completed the courses without dropping. So I think that's a big deal, and I think धीरे धीरे ही चढ़ते हैं, ज़्यादा जल्दी करेंगे तो गिर भी जाएंगे. So I know I'll make up that 5,000 also one day.
Obviously, when you will keep on doing it, and I think this is increasing. Whatever you say, this after school. For me, I was asking you so many questions because I wanted a lot of parents to understand after school why it is important. But with due course of time, I have also realized that getting a good phonics teacher offline is not possible. Getting a good public speaking platform where I can send my child for good public speaking, or she can learn something from that perspective, is really very difficult. And sometimes you don't have that resources also that you can send your child outside. So for all those things, I think the online
Online
platforms
is
are
good.
doing great, and they are going to boom only.
Yeah, I believe. When I started 2 years back, we had very less competitors, and if now I see every person they have their online phonics
Yeah.
classes, individual and
Individually,
everyone.
yeah, somebody's not that much that they do want to expand and
Yes,
they
so
are doing
individually
individually.
everybody is catering
Yeah,
online classes these days. So now I think it's very competitive.
this competition is good, healthy competition is
Yes.
also good. Thank you so much, Akansha, for having a word with me.
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for having me here, I would say.